Baltic Brand Talks, a podcast about all things creative and trending.
So, my dear friends, this is Baltic Brand Talks, and my name is Andris Rubīns from Magic, and one of the Baltic Brand Forum co-founders. Good to see you again here in our podcast. We are continuing the series with Baltic Marketing or Advertising Association leads. We had a fantastic discussion with Anniken from Tuli, that is Estonian Marketing Association. We had another great interview and conversation with Inara from Latvian Art Directors Club. But today we want to talk with our biggest neighbor and largest economy and fastest growing economy that we jealously look after at the moment. And we want to talk about Lithuania, and I'm happy to see and to meet for this conversation Giedrė Vilkė from LiMA. LiMA is Lithuania's marketing association, or how they call it, Lietuvos marketingo asociacija.
Yeah,
and from as CEO of LiMA described Giedrė, she said Giedrė is a true marketing wolf. And of course, Vilke, I think the surname very similar to Latvian Vilks, is so you have the name, the surname codes you. So the true marketing wolf is over 15 years of experience, spanning tech, digital, e-commerce, and marketing domains. So great to see you in this podcast, Giedrė.
Thank you for a nice introduction. I'm really happy to be here. Yes, my surname really means wolf. so usually people build stories around that, but I don't mind.
So you were traveling. You just came back from Singapore. How do you feel today after I suppose pretty long travel?
Yeah, it was a long trip home. So I feel tired from one point of view, but from another point of view, I'm excited. It was a trip. It was my study trip. So because I'm on my journey to executive MBA, so I went there for leadership and innovation model. So I gained some inspiration and willingness to act. So from that point of view, I feel energized and I want to do stuff. So that balances the tiredness of the flight.
So how long is the program where you study at the moment?
1.5 years, less than 2 years. Yeah.
And it's partly online and offline.
No, it's actually live.
Okay.
Every studies I have live. So part of it is in Vilnius, and since it's international, some models are in different countries.
Sounds fantastic. I think if you agree and you would recommend the program to other marketing directors or business guys, we can add the link to our podcast episode.
Sure.
So maybe let's just start kind of getting into a subject of LiMA. And I think if somebody doesn't know yet, and probably many Latvians and Estonians doesn't know, that LiMA is an organization that unites the community of 1,200 marketing specialists. Oh my God, every time I see this number, I think, come on, Latvia, you can do better.
It's bigger now, but that's okay.
So what is the number today?
So it's almost 1.3.
1.3 marketing specialists is part of LiMA, part of this association. So my first question, how LiMA has managed to attract this impressive number of people in the community?
So most probably the right number would be, starting with why overall LiMA exists. Yes, what's the strategical goals of it? So actually, just recently we had a strategy session. So we had quite a good uplift on what was before and where are we heading now. So, but the main things are there. So one of the things is it's about marketing profession itself, and we are looking at it from two angles. One is that we want to increase the competences of marketeers in order them to help to build marketing profession not as a support profession, but as a strategical position in the company. So that is through the competences of our marketeers. Another direction is through the image of marketing profession, because the same issue is that, if our CEOs and CFOs will not find a language with marketeers, and marketeers will not speak the language of CFOs, we will never make this position a strategical one. So in the eyes of business owners, even public sector, and society, one of our strategical goals actually is to improve this image through many different actions, and actually make those different stakeholders to be able to talk to each other. Then the third is, it's about the community, right? Because this is we not only through trainings, majority of things you actually learn from your peers. So our association goal is to make those connections real. So through organizing different events, networking, and ability for them to have even chats and separate rooms where they can actually get the answers to their questions. And we have very active email groups where they ask, request, recommend, and whatsoever. So it's a lot of things about community engagement. And this is just answering the question. Community is actually the core of all the values, and that's most probably nothing new. So we are, especially in this digital world, the best thing we are still cannot get from AI is the people surrounding us. So that's the third direction. And the fourth, we just actually it happened. We added it as a new one. The year I joined LiMA board is the international angle. Yes, and why it's important. Yes, LiMA sounds Lithuanian Marketing Association. Yes, but when you look at what actually, so our marketeers, the big share of them actually do business in international companies. Okay, physically they kind of are here, not always, sometimes in different countries. Yes, so but they do international global marketing.
I mean, brands like Winted, Kilo Health, and other unicorns and success stories, they also are part of the community.
Exactly. So what is that meaning? And in general, there's no such thing as marketers in country silos.
Sure.
Now it's definitely something which has no borders. So for us, it's a very important step in LiMA's life to recognize this. And so we say, yes, we kind of unite Lithuanians, but it's not according to where they actually do job. They can export, they can import, however they do it. And we want to also be proud that we have very, very good marketeers compared to Europe. And that's most probably one of the things why we are also part of European Marketing Association, and why we also had this tradition to we can already call it a tradition, not for the first time. So also participating while selecting the best European marketeer. And the reason behind is actually to show that, guys, we are absolutely worth to be noticed on the European surface. We have strong abilities here, and we have to be proud of it. So this fourth leg, or how you call it, it's
the exporting leg, let's say.
Leg. It's very, very important, and personally to me, because this was then I recognized why I was not part of LiMA for many years, because I felt it was never for me, because I never worked for Lithuanian market only.
Yeah.
So that's
so you've been part of these tech businesses that kind of always look at the world and try to scale the business. So that's what you have brought. You and maybe some others also brought into LiMA as an active part.
Yes. My background is the e-commerce, right? So I joined Pigu, which is now PHH Group, so the biggest e-commerce player in the region. at a very early stage, very few people, small, nice office. I still remember me myself delivering the the items. So
When was it? How
yeah,
many years ago it
yeah.
was?
So it was. I joined the company after when the crisis hit. So I believe it was in 2009. So at
Yeah,
the very
yeah.
early beginning. And I spent so many years, more than a decade, in various roles, from customer support, my commerce department, and ended up in marketing, as this was the area where we had to do a lot of changes in order to succeed. So my background is definitely techie, yes, from
Yeah,
that point of
yeah.
view. And the environment I was in and the way I saw marketing is very different from many companies at that time, because I never learned marketing. That's very important. I'm a lawyer by the
All
education.
right. Right.
And I first started, before e-commerce. I started as in commerce, selling,
Mm.
buying. So that is my background. So I'm I must say, I believe, and from the comments I get, I have a different point of view, to
Yeah.
a very different point of view to marketing.
So you know something about how to sell, how to scale, how to network. I think all of these also, like PHH Group. I think it's a platform
Yes,
business. You have to
yes,
actually have a great community, great network of businesses to expand. And of course, I think all of these might be very valuable skills for the association as well. That's fantastic. So, what are like for yourself? What do you think are the most interesting events that Lima does? Like, because there are different events. There, as far
yeah.
as I know, every month one or two event. But what do you think? Which formats maybe are the where you really see that these people kind of really learn or they really gain some inspiration or skills?
So overall, we actually have this magic number. We had the opportunity to organize more than 100 events per year. So all kinds of from networking events to the
Yeah.
big conferences. We are still reconsidering the strategy in terms of events, because that's a huge amount of events. And in general, our goal is more to focus on those flagship ones where we actually really invest and get a lot of people. Our flagship event, Lima Day, which is like a main event of the year.
Mm. So
Gonna
how many people from those 1,300 joins the Lima Day?
Lima Day gathers for a few years in a row already 1.5 thousand attendees. That's the biggest marketing conference in country, right? So that's a really big
Still
event.
space to grow if you compare it to login. I guess there's like 7 to 8,000, but I think it's really good number for marketing community. It's fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. Login has just way wider of the topics range, but
Yeah.
we still believe, yes, we can grow. So I can give you like a little teaser for this year, which
Yes,
our
please.
event will happen on the 26th of November.
Hmm.
So we are hoping to see the winner of the Cannes Lions in Vilnius. So this is something we are bringing to, again, coming back to the topic of international sharing and stuff. We are bringing here to Vilnius for our
Which campaign is it, or which brand?
I'm not saying that.
Okay,
That's a teaser.
because there are many winners in Cannes. I
I
mean,
know, I know.
okay,
We will provide all the information later on, but for a
okay.
teaser, I believe that's something. Yes, and the second flagship event is CMO Summit. Yes, so
Mhm.
that's chief marketing officers are still our like main targets to develop and maintain them. Yes, so we do that every year. It is also connected to the awards of the best marketeer of the year.
Mhm.
So we announced during that event also from the top 10 selected, and then that one winner with several additional awards. And again, this year or next year, because it's also now combined with the European Marketeer Awards.
Mm.
So we have our winners being
Participate in the European
going,
level.
yes, expected to Europe. And And we hope that either next year, because it's happening on spring, we will have European marketeer announced in Vilnius. So we are now agreeing
so you
on
could host it.
Yes. So
That's cool.
we in Lithuania are great hosts. So
I heard that you, as a CMO of PHH Group, actually some years ago were recognized with the prestigious CMO of the Year. Is it right?
Yes, it
Not
is.
only in Lithuania, but also in the European Marketing of the Year, 2024.
Yeah, so this was the first year when we did that, So I was assigned to go to this competition on the European Association. So
Yeah.
I received this runner-up reward, and this was exactly what I said before, that I find this super important, because the message I brought is exactly this, guys, we can compete even with because all the other brands were, many times bigger than our biggest regional e-commerce player, right? So because we are competing with UK, Germany,
The
France,
bigger global, yeah.
But
But
so
my
I was,
question, my question, what does it take to be recognized best marketeer? I mean, what maybe you did as a marketing director or CMO that people in Lithuania and Europe saw that this is something worth learning from. If you can share.
So basically, the award in Lithuania I received a very specific event. So I worked with PHH for a decade. Then I left for some global e-commerce business, and I was invited back after the COVID. Most probably, you can imagine why, because of market drop. So I came back, and we managed to reach some great and fast results. Of course, it's easier for me because I know the company very well, so adaptation period was very short. So because of this turnaround after the COVID, and bringing back to the COVID level on the traffic levels and then some other metrics, yes, I received this award. And for European Marketing Association, they were evaluating my overall impact on e-commerce contribution on the building regional biggest player. So it was like a combination of 1 year recognition plus the overall impact to the company's result. Me as a marketing leader.
The main kind of factor they want to see is the influence on the business and
Yes,
how marketing has influenced the growth, right?
Yeah, it's all about strategical marketing. That's why most probably I started on there, and this is actually the reason I'm here in Lima. The I see huge potential in changing the way we understand marketing. Still, in many companies, marketing is a support function. There's still a lot of CEOs think that they go to a marketer and they say, oh no, do me some advertising, some beautiful.
The guys who spend money, the guys who like expense position rather than investment.
Yes, so that's a challenge, and I was fortunate enough. I was very fortunate, actually. I was from the early days. I was sitting at the board. So basically, I was clearly in every digital business, which is a bit different than the traditional businesses. Marketing is like a core function. It's impossible. It's impossible to somehow avoid it, because it is taking part from the product and service development itself to actually selling that product and sell. So it's in a full cycle, very strategical approach, right? So being that fortunate, I'm really sad to see a totally different situation in many other companies. And now I'm also advising and consulting some companies, and I see this diversity, and it makes me sad. And I believe association is exactly the tool for me to actually to make this difference. And I see huge opportunity if we will starts considering marketing as a strategic function, CEOs will understand that then there are no sales. It's not about releasing another stupid ad.
Have you done any kind of research or surveys on like what is the marketing the marketing function? How many companies have it as part of the board or part of the C-level suite, and how many companies actually still treat marketing as a support?
That's actually the great topic you just touched, because this was one of our agreements. Actually, there are no extensive report on that. We were looking for that. So what we decided inside, I'm now bringing you a lot of teasers here today. So what we decided,
that's just two of us here. Please.
So we are planning to build up a report on that, and actually to have a proper statistics, but because there are some bits and pieces of statistics, and one is very clear, and this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the percentage of CEOs who are coming with marketing background, and that is the least of C-level management who actually becomes CEO. The most, of course, CFOs, right? Or COO, operations, yes. But if you look from a strategical point of view, how can you actually grow without knowing your customer, without being capable to build a product or a service suitable for them? So that's the strangest thing, not recognizing that. I'm not saying that CFOs or CEOs are bad people. I love them. I get along. Yes, but it's not about that. So this is exactly the number I'm currently looking at, and my personal wish is exactly to increase this number. And if we look to more technical companies, yes, it's very different. In like a production companies, they're basically the statistics is so that there are no marketing people becoming CEOs. In tech companies, e-commerce companies, yes, they are much higher, sometimes even 30% or more. So compared on average, which is below 10. Yeah, so we have this differences in different industries, but still there's a lot to do. So these are the numbers we can play around, but we want to also mix a bit more of an in-depth report, and exactly showing the people while and also educating, because it's not about creating the image. Most probably the most important thing is about that marketeers
need those skills.
Exactly. And those skills, it's not only about how to run campaign on Meta. Yes, it's not about that. It's about what is P&L, what is cash flow, what financial education for these people, in order to get the same language, to speak the same language with CFO. You need to know those things. And unfortunately, many of great marketers, they don't know that that's the limit of their growth. That's the limit of their growth. That's why last year we released a financial course for for people not from financial.
So LiMA is planning to have this kind of different training sessions for marketing people to upscale them, or kind of to expand their skill set.
We are not the ones who make these, because we cooperate. We cooperate with executive education. Like in this case, for a financial subject, we are covered with BMI, which is our executive school. And we had a splendid professor from Spain. So basically, we are bringing everything what we want. We bring this international knowledge. We from the best universities around Europe, and we build a course to exactly fill the gaps for our marketeers, so that they could actually provide the strategical insights, and this will be the enabler for the rest to come, for that statistics to change, right? So I'm also working at the board and I know how difficult it is for a marketing person to enter one. It's also a mind, some kind of approach you need to change.
Yeah, it's kind of the perception,
Exactly.
for many. But I think one of the challenges could be that, marketing people in your community, they understand the need for it, the role of the marketing and brand building. The big question or the challenge, how do you, enter the CEO level? How do you make them understand, or how do you kind of, get out of the marketing community bubble, but basically work with these business guys and help them to, open their eyes or open their, view of the world?
Again, most probably I will repeat myself. I believe it's the same as it's just about the language we use.
Okay.
The only difference what I see in the marketeers who are let's say so get along with CEOs and CFOs, and the ones who do not.
Okay,
and
got it. So that's a role of their marketing people themselves. If they have learned it, they have to, use the skill and use the language and talk about business and numbers more often than just about beautiful content, piece and shares and likes and, the latest TikTok trend.
Yeah, and for me, it's I never talk about beauty, really. This is the only topic where I say when it's subjective, I hate to talk about it. So my personal view on things are through data lenses,
Okay.
So I never start my discussion on that's beautiful.
So agencies who work with you should know this.
Yeah,
should come
definitely.
with a proper research and then show idea that is based on the data. And then probably they can get your smile and approval on the idea. Yeah, I mean, this really reminds me. I mean, I was part of also EMBA program that is called Berlin School of Creative Leadership, and I know some of the Lithuanian advertising and marketing people also has been part of the school, and the whole vision why it was started. It was actually to help creative directors become CEOs of creative agencies or creative industry companies, because this was, I think, a bit similar observation what you were saying, that marketing people would not always be part of the management team. Often in agency world also, I mean, managing director of creative agency often is a person who runs business or person who runs finances. But then again, if you want to truly understand the nature of creative business, it's even better if you have a creative background yourself. Then the idea was to create a school, the program where those creative directors can learn a bit of finance, a bit of strategy, a bit of HR. Of course, you would not get, as deep as an accountant gets, but you understand why it's important, how to talk about it, what to ask those finance guys, let's say, but of course, kind of really expand your toolbox, basically, as a person that you can actually use to become more influential. So I think very similar.
Exactly. This is what I call speak the same language. And the only thing we need to do is to make them speak the same language, and that works on both ends. Yeah. So also we already started last year. We invited to the committee of the ones who decide the marketeer of the year. For the first time, we have CFO invited. And we will do that every year. We also reviewed our speakers that in every single conference we organize, there would be a proper amount of CEOs and CFOs. We as a marketing association are entering business conferences where CFOs and CEOs are taking part. So that works on both ends. Yes, we understand that they need to speak the same language, so it means they need also to understand a bit about CPC, CAC, and all those strange words they don't like to hear. So that's goes from both ends, and I've really seen that working. I've really seen that working. That's the only thing. Make them speak the same language. If one's is talking about the beauty and another is expecting about the numbers, they simply don't get along. and it's impossible.
I agree. So part of the associations, is it mostly marketing teams from different kind of organizations and companies, or it's also agencies, creative agencies, media agencies, like, or what is the split if they're kind of both worlds?
We have most probably all the agencies I can think of. So we get along with them. Yes, so they are part of our association. But at the same time, we have big corporate accounts. So the ones who buy the private accounts, I mean, for their employees, right?
Yeah.
And we have private, and this is actually the majority part. We have a lot of private users who are willing to pay for a yearly
Membership fees?
yes, membership fee to get the value we create. So that, and the main values, as I said, besides the networking which I mentioned, we have lots of programs to improve competences. That's why I talk about that. So in different ways. Once you, of course, you can help yourself while networking. That also, that events are for that, and specialized half a year long to our longest programs, yes, which goes like with certifications, which is certified by EMC, which is European Marketing Association. Yes, so it's a whole tool set we provide, so that in such a fast-paced environment, every marketer would not lose himself in a big scale of information, and could navigate easier, what he really needs to know and what he really needs to do. And still majority of marketers are trying, how to say, gain more digital skills with our help, because as started previously, I was born there, but majority of marketers, because still the market
born from, I don't know, brochures and
yes,
bubblers.
exactly. So we have to kind of convert them. Yeah. So that's a big job, and this is majority of our development and skill development are for.
Okay. So if you would characterize like how Lithuania's marketing industry is doing, like what would you say? What you could be proud of? What maybe are some challenges? Like how do you characterize? Like what is the situation at the moment?
So as you mentioned before, yes, in general, situation on the market is kind of the one which makes me smile. We are every year winning for many different awards, from the best place to be and to live for young people. I hope you heard that.
Yeah.
And to really positive numbers of the economic growth, and so that's on positive side, and that is of course related to the marketing industry. Yes. So, but this also brings few challenges. Again, the same I know I mentioned. Yes. So everyone is going to the internet. The more they go to the internet, the bigger competition, the prices go up. That's nothing new. Yes. And not only the ones on our market, but we are in a space which we also covered of a global marketing. Yeah. So that's because we also have a lot of international brands. Just during COVID times, we had, at the same time, basically Zalando, Boost, and About You entered. That's three giants who never were here before. That's makes a huge difference on the way market operates. So this is the trend, because then the economy is growing. What happens? All the global brands, they usually have a clear KPIs as when it's actually worth to enter the market, and all of a sudden we hit all those numbers, and this is where they start to invest and enter. So this makes it more complicated for the local brands to play in, because this increases competition.
Which is good.
So yeah, increases competition, at the same time increases money invested. Yeah. So that works from both ends. So I would say that this is the.
And how is marketing in Lithuania? How do you feel about disruptions that come from AI and kind of these all the new kind of technologies and tools?
I would say everyone is saying is disrupting, but the numbers show it's quite a sad numbers. No, then the guy says I'm using AI, and he's googling basically in ChatGPT. So it's pretty similar actually in companies. So I'm not the person who will now say, oh my God, everything has changed. Actually, I'm sad that it did not. Majority of agencies, to my mind, are way too slow to adapt to the change. Way too slow. They still do things as they did, and that's a huge threat because this is the service they provide. Can be. I don't really need
automated.
many
Yeah, I mean,
cases the agency anymore. So that's a huge threat for just the regular consultants and many smaller agencies.
so probably another role for LiMA to kind of help accelerate the speed of learning on and using AI tools, both in marketing and advertising industry.
So adoption is the same. We are still struggling looking at all these statistics. Yes, so deep adoption. So it means then it's deep in your processes, not just covering as a separate process. So we are far away from it being deep in the process. And everyone who actually does that, I would say that's still experimentation stage. For some things like content creation, okay, that's already a boring topic. Yes, sure, we use it. Yes, but I'm most probably more interested into deep implementation into processes, and actually you eliminate a series of jobs. So that's still upcoming. So we have plenty of space, and I hear.
Have you noticed, like we have those couple of studios, there's kind of one or two people agencies who use only AI, and that's kind of how they can afford to be just one or two people in the agency. I mean, have you noticed some of those kind of companies launching in Lithuania as well?
I cannot tell you that I've noticed that a lot, because again, still, the majority of money is at the big brands. Big brands will never go to a one-man show company, yes, because they have those men in-house. So basically, to my mind, this is the only the trend is now that the global big agencies, they have to provide additional values. And they try to do that from the point of view what I see, in order to actually justify the overall that we need to buy them. So unless you don't really have teams, because also some brands, they don't have part of teams, so agencies cut that. But if you are building brand from the beginning, yes, and you are a startup, so you have a totally different mindset. What agencies? No, you do everything on your own. And this is where AI definitely changed, because those people, because of a need, they have no money to fund, or they have to pay from their own pockets. So those small businesses, they are, to my mind, they are faster adopters from that point of view, because they just don't have free money,
enough resources to do otherwise, right?
Yes.
But like, if you would like look back, I don't know, last year or so, like what have been maybe some of the most visible, most resonating marketing campaigns, activations, or brands that you would that would come up to your mind, like where you said, yes, this is how Lithuanian marketing should kind of perform, and like what comes to your mind, like what has been?
So most probably, maybe I'll come from far away.
Okay.
So I just came from far
Singapore.
away from India. So it will be a
from
nice
Australia.
Yeah, so it's actually about Asia, because it reminded me one thing. Before our call, I looked it up quickly on our brands reports, most loved brands from last year and this year. So what came to my mind, and I thought, wow, that's so nice, and why Asia reminded me. So basically, what we see on the map of most loved brands on Lithuania and on the Baltics, actually, these are the these are the grocery shops, telecommunication. I mean, all the areas which are well developed. So looking from the point of product development cycle. We are on a maturity market. Yes, on the maturity market, you don't talk about you don't talk about the functions of the things, because everyone operates at the same level. Do you think that there is a difference between REMI and Maxima? Well, it's actually
you can find some, but
it's actually the location which actually makes a difference. There are some, of course, pricing is there, but when you become a commodity, then you really become a commodity. Like in telecom was probably the best example, because it's impossible to feel the difference. It's only about the brand, So when you become a commodity, you are on a different cycle of your product. This is where, in a Maslow pyramid, then you talk about different things. And now I'm trying to connect another thing, because we are at the same different cycle of our economy also. And this is what changed the brands we love, and how we look, and how the marketing campaigns started to be. Because before that, 15 years ago, when we were super rational, it was about the price, about the speed, and about the functions. And okay, you can do it in a bit more creative way or a bit less creative way, but it's all about that. And we needed many years to reach the economy level that we could, it's not about if we are safe or if we have food. We already think of the things
about whys and values.
And why is that? Exactly. So that was a long story, because in Singapore have 70% of Chinese living. Yes, Singapore is a blend of cultures. Of course, they have everything there. So from a Silicon Valley feel as if to a very Chinese feel as if. So why I remember that, because China still is. We had this conversation when one of the investors were listening to the pitch of new product, to the market, and it was a sustainable product. And he's asking, can you explain me, what's the difference of this product compared to whatever? And the person, he's trying to explain that it's made from totally different things, which are actually recyclable, that makes a product fully sustainable. And you know what he said? He said, yeah, but next time, could you answer the question I'm asking about the functions of a product, and not starting to talk about ESG?
You have to take some steps back.
So do you hear the difference? ESG, it's it's not a part of product function.
Again,
it's somewhere aside. It's nothing related to a customer decision to buy. So it's a great reminder. We've been there, and not so many years ago. And so now it is much nicer to turn on TV, and sometimes, I use this forward, and sometimes to watch some ads, because they not only talk about price and speed, but you can also find, for some brands operating in a very, very matured market, where there's no difference in actually the real product, about values, about social responsibility, and creating very sensitive and touching very sensitive topics. So that's so this is how I see this the development of this advertising market. So yes, now it's much better and much more interesting. And with this, last year we recognized as the best marketer in Lithuania from telecommunication company, Telia, and they are talking every Christmas on a very sensitive social topics. And what I really love about that, and about their campaign too, that first they do the change in the company. They actually do the change in the company.
So they start themselves.
Exactly. They act the way they like this. And only later they make it a communication. And this, to my mind, is the core of the good and strategical marketing. So I support. I'm happy that she received the well-deserved CMO of the year, and in this highly penetrated and highly matured market, they have the strategy which helps them to win. In another area, working with different products, maybe that's not the winning strategy because it's super expensive. But for them, it's it's brilliant. Yes.
And then there is Fantasios, right? Who, the owner and CEO himself is kind of, pulling out jokes and reacting to, Trump and everything that happens in the world. And Robbie Williams stunned.
Yeah, Fantasios is a totally different story. Most probably it's hard to find a person who don't like them because they are so funny. They're most probably, it's not only about being funny, but it's about being genuine. It's if you know
consistent,
the person,
you're kind of consistent all the time.
Exactly. And if you know the person, you see that he's not actually doing it as a part of. And I had to interview with him and he confirmed that, he's not doing that. He doesn't really see this as a separate campaign, each and every new idea he brought to life. He sees it as a strategical decision to position brand this way. That's a very different, because every marketeer knows that he needs to do a post campaign, all those things. Yes, they never do that. They never do that because they don't consider this to be. So that's more not a campaign marketing. That's the brand positioning exercise you've chosen, and that's the people trust and believe because it's coming from the founders, right?
Like Povilas himself.
Yes, and it's how he is.
Yeah.
And so it's not already a marketing campaign. It's just that it's a total relation with his name and his company name and the way he makes jokes. Let's call it like that. Yes.
As you probably know, I mean, because LiMA is one of the partners, we are later this week we are having a Baltic Brand Forum that first time comes to Vilnius, and also the aim, like since quite some years ago, was actually to make Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia share a bit more about within themselves, like what are the those kind of Fantasios or Telia or from Latvia, Estonia alikes, what are the learnings, what are the success stories, maybe fuck ups, always good to learn those as well. So the idea was like that Baltics probably should gain and benefit if we learn not just from our own Lithuania's kind of mistakes, but actually we take into expand this into Baltics. Like, how do you see how would be important also for LiMA to kind of maybe be somewhat more active with this pan-Baltic approach?
Absolutely. And that's internationalish approach, as we mentioned at the beginning, is super important. And of course, starting with our neighbors, Broliukai and beyond.
Not just in basketball arenas.
Okay, that's a little exception.
Yeah.
But for sure, and most probably for me, it's so natural because all the time I worked at least on Baltic for me as a one market. Yes. So and to be honest, I believe that's in blood, because majority of agencies, majority of companies actually who operate in one of the countries, they also have subsidiary in another, because we are so small markets. Yes. So there's a lot of business. Even just check how many people are in planes on the mornings and evenings flights, yes, to Estonia or back and forward. So it's a lot of huge relationships. So
but then again, if you look at the reality, I think like these marketing events and conferences that are not like meant only for local communities, not many. I mean, Estonia and Lithuania, I'm trying to visit time after time, like even the Password conference or some other events. I mean, you would maybe get only 3 to 4 speakers that are English speaking, and the rest of it is hard to understand. So it's kind of feels like we understand the idea, we want to do this, but something limits us or something, I don't know, again, and maybe people would rather choose local language event rather than, I don't know, English language event, or like, why do you think we don't have enough of those?
I love your point. I love your point about the events. Yes, because from business perspective, we definitely have cooperation. So
Yeah.
I love this point, and most probably have to agree. Um, it's hard for me to believe that English would be an obstacle to enter an event, because actually we are reaching quite the opposite, and you see that from our main guests also, what I mentioned.
Mm.
Yes, so, and another thing, and it's very important to say, is that in our companies, especially in those technology companies, already it's not a future thing, but already the business language is English.
Mm.
We have different nationalities people working, especially also a lot of Ukrainian people who came to our country. They were taken to the companies, and so again, so we have more and more diversity in terms of nationalities working within teams.
Mm.
Myself, currently, I work with Lithuanians companies, but it's all in English.
Mm.
So, so that's a great point.
Yeah. Like
Um,
even login, I was actually surprised. I was there this year, and I was surprised actually that like the content in English was actually, I don't know, maybe 5 to 7% of the overall kind of list of speakers and content. So it kind of feels like that. We whenever it's possible, we will turn back to our kind of natural language, and that's kind of where we close doors to Baltic neighbors or Polish neighbors or Nordic neighbors. But that's where Baltic Brand Forum comes in.
yes,
I
yes,
really have to thank you also, Lima, for a partnership and helping like spreading the news. And as you know, we traveled to Tallinn 2 years ago. We stopped in Riga Circus last year, and this year we meet in 26th of September in Kablis for the again full day fantastic event with global speakers, with Baltic speakers and experts, and from like brands. Including Žalgiris, including Go Vilnius, some of Flow team who happened to win Oscars for Latvia, and again they were not great in filmmaking. They actually were quite great in marketing, making sure that
yes,
those more than 1,000 people who vote for Oscars actually see the film and are interested to know more and so on. So all of those stories hopefully will inspire many of us in the forum this week. And thanks again for your support. Not just this year, also previous years. But to every guest, we also ask a couple of questions. And I think you will not be exception. I will ask you as well. So first question we usually ask is like, what are your favorite brand or a couple of brands that you admire and why?
So I definitely admire Vinted. That will be my first thing to say, not only because I'm an early adopter of this brand. I believe in the
Mm.
mission they do. And and this is the only brand my daughter said, "Mom, I would like you to work for Vinted." That's a funny, funny
Yeah,
fact,
yeah,
because that's an unusual thing for a kid. And last but not least, it's for a small country as us, and you will definitely understand that that's no prouder moment than
yeah.
you come somewhere. And last night, because just last night I was still in Singapore, I met a girl from Louis Vuitton working in Singapore,
Mm.
coming from Paris. And actually, one of the first sentences, no, she said, "Yeah, you have winded guys. This is the country." And the second thing she said, and that will lead me to other brands, that, "And you are super strong in cybersecurity," she said.
Mm.
So most probably answering this, for me it's very important. Most probably I'm looking from more, not only as a brand, but also that the brand is actually, it has the ability to make a difference in the
Mm.
economy, in the moment, to be being proud of their country, and they can actually, and the founders, they can drive differences, like we had this initiatives of our unicorn on higher expenditure on defense. So
Mm.
that is most probably what makes me go crazy about the brand, who can make a difference not only for the brand itself and the product itself, but for much wider community, economy,
Mm.
and values we have.
Yeah. I think it's probably something what Skype did for Estonia some years ago, and what their Baltic is, slightly, I think, similar. How they, contribute to the whole economy and the whole kind of connectivity of the country and region. So I think, yeah, definitely,
Exactly.
winter is something that really is an amazing success story.
And one small I will add, because it actually
Yeah.
was already mentioned several times in our most loved brands, which is very uncommon. That is Mo Museum. I hope
Yeah.
you've been there. Yes. That's no matter that I really
Yeah.
adore what CEO of Mo Museum does, and I believe
Mhm.
their strategy is really, there are a lot good things about the strategy they do, and but it's really uncommon to have such a category let's say brand from such a category on the most loved brands,
Mhm.
because they definitely do not have the biggest budgets they use. So it's about doing the things right, and
Yeah.
again making being proud of that, and involving different well I from the point what they do, I believe it's exactly
Yeah.
about the
No,
creative
it's world class. I mean, from architecture and of course world famous architect himself, to the kind of the content and packaging and
Exactly.
design, and
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why we will have this forum meet and greet event in Mo Museum this week. So we'll meet there as well. So the other question we usually ask, because working in marketing or advertising, or kind of it requires us to be very productive, to come up with new ideas, and then the question always is like, where do what is your source of inspiration? What is your source for those ideas? In your case, where do you find it?
People.
Okay.
That's definitely the answer, is people, and I have this philosophy that I'm an average of a 5 person I spend most of my time with. Yeah, so the only thing I do is try to surround me with the people who actually inspires me to do the next step, or to do it smarter, or to do it faster, or to do it in some other way. Yes, so and so that comes while choosing your business partners, to choosing your friends, to choosing just how to shape yourself through the people who surround you. Definitely, that's the answer
So you're
from
not a lonely wolf.
no. I'm not very socialized. Well,
Okay. And the last question we ask every guest is like, what's your moonshot goal? What is like what would ultimate success look like for you? Is it professional? Is it personally? Something that you are aspiring to?
okay, that's again most probably will not be a very traditional answer, because I'll tell you like this. I was always seeking for something more. That's a normal thing for a career person, and I believe I had this in many years.
Mm.
And but I now learn, and I learned most probably, that being present is much better. So that's most probably my answer. I'm really happy what I do and why I do, and the always what I'm seeking for, to be happy at the present moment. So
Mm.
that's my moonshot. Never change this. Not to dream about better life in a year or two. No. Have a good life now. Balance it the way, so that you could be proud, interesting for
Mm.
you. It would be interesting to live, and it's how the very harsh way of selling that. But if I'm leaving this world today, I should be at the happy stage.
That's a fantastic one. And actually, it perfectly matches one of the points that you will see in the forum from our recent brand capital study, which clearly shows that Lithuanians answer most often with a yes to question, is it more important to live for today
Mhm.
rather than, being planning tomorrow. And Lithuanians by far outcompete Latvians and Estonians in this willingness to live for today and take most of today. So
So I'm a regular Lithuanian.
yeah, so we can see that clearly which country you represent. And I could, at the end, I can just say I really appreciate having you in the podcast. And also, I think LiMA is doing fantastic job. I mean, not just in numbers, but really, I think in these ambitions and really helping the marketing reputation to grow, help Lithuania marketing kind of industry to export themselves or become internationally more acknowledged. I think that's something that really every country's marketing community should be doing, but not many are. That's my observation. So I think LiMA can be proud of having a marketing wolf or true marketing wolf, like you were described in the beginning, in part of their board, part of their community. And I wish you, be in the present.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. It was a warm welcome for me to come back to have this wonderful discussion, and really looking forward for the event.
Yes,
here in Vilnius, and we invite you to not only spread the message on exactly this international cooperation on the level of the Baltics, but I believe we can do a lot together on the level of Europe. Because we are absolutely wonderful nations. We have beautiful and smart people, and we can actually show the rest of Europe that there is a reason to be proud.
Yeah, we are still young and hungry and ready to move fast.
Exactly.
Okay, Giedrė, thanks a lot. We see us very soon in Vilnius for Baltic Brand Forum, and I wish you all the best, and we see us soon. Thank you.
Bye.
And thank you, all the podcast listeners. I hope you enjoyed the episode and the whole series of 3 episodes from Estonia to Latvia to Lithuania. So it has been kind of a nice warming up, the Baltic unity spirit with the podcast to the forum that we meet each of us. Most of us will meet in person. So I'm looking forward to meet a lot of you guys in Vilnius and Kablis, and day before meet a greet event in Mo Museum. So I think it will be terrific. And see you soon. Bye-bye.